Did Trump really try to rewrite history, or just his own narrative? Ever wonder what happens when you mix a former president, a comedian, and a whole lot of controversy? Well, buckle up, because Bill Maher's latest takedown of Donald Trump is nothing short of a wild ride through political absurdity. From allegations of election interference to bizarre claims about history, Trump's reality seems to exist in a universe all its own. But is he just another politician trying to spin the truth? Or is this something entirely different? Let's break it down. Trump's facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, and multiple counts of false statements and writings. And yet, instead of addressing these issues head-on, he's basing his entire campaign on a reality that seems to exist only in his mind. The never-ending election. Lies. Trump didn't just claim election fraud. He tried every avenue possible to overturn the results. He went through the courts, pressured state legislatures, attempted to intimidate then Vice President Mike Pence, and even toyed with the idea of using the Justice Department to seize voting machines. The kicker? Every credible source, including his own Attorney General Bill Barr, told him he lost. And yet, he still wouldn't let it go. Bill Maher, in his classic satirical style, compared Trump's refusal to accept the election results to a child insisting they didn't raid the cookie jar, even as they stood there with chocolate smeared across their face. The comparison couldn't be more fitting. Trump didn't just throw a tantrum, he built an entire movement around it. Inauguration crowd size. The lie that launched a presidency. Remember when Trump had a full-blown meltdown over the size of his inauguration crowd? It was January 20th, 2017. Trump's big day. His grand moment. But there was just one problem. The National Mall was looking a little, well, empty. Rather than accept reality, Trump went on the offensive. Sean Spicer, his then press secretary, was sent out to battle the press, sweating bullets as he tried to convince the world that what they saw with their own eyes wasn't real. This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration. Period. Spicer declared. The internet, of course, had a field day, and Maher couldn't help but point out how ridiculous it was. It's like arguing with a toddler who swears they didn't eat the cookies while their face is covered in crumbs, he quipped. But what made this moment truly absurd was that Trump wouldn't let it go. He spent weeks fixated on proving that his crowd was bigger than Obama's, as if the fate of the free world depended on it. While the country was grappling with real issues, Trump was still obsessing over who had the bigger party. The wild goose chase that became a movement fast forward to today. And Trump's supporters are still on a wild goose chase, literally, in their latest attempt to prove the existence of widespread election fraud. Some Trump loyalists have been taking ridiculous Facebook memes as gospel. One particularly bizarre example, the claim that Haitian migrants were being brought in to replace American voters. Trump supporters have latched onto these conspiracy theories with the same intensity that Trump clings to his election lies. Maher pointed out the absurdity of it all. They're literally on a wild goose chase, trying to prove that an internet meme is real. It would be hilarious if it weren't so terrifying. Trump and his war on facts. One of Trump's most infamous moments came during Black History Month in 2017, when he decided to give a shout-out to Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass is an example of somebody who's done an amazing job and is being recognized more and more, Trump said, as if Douglass were still alive. The problem? Frederick Douglass died in 1895. Maher wasted no time roasting Trump for this historical gaffe, joking, "I guess nobody told Trump that the famous abolitionist hasn't been around for, about 130 years. Social media exploded, with people joking that Douglass must be hanging out with Elvis and Tupac in some secret club for not-so-dead celebrities. This wasn't just another slip of the tongue. It was yet another example of Trump's complete disregard for facts. Whether it's history, science, or basic reality, Trump seems to live in a world where the truth is whatever he wants it to be. Trump's love-hate relationship with dogs. Another strange quirk about Trump He's the only US president in modern history who didn't have a dog. In fact, he seems to have a bizarre hatred for them. While most politicians use pets to appear more relatable, Trump used them as insults. He lies like a dog. He once said, "They're rapists, they bring drugs, and some, I assume, are good boys." Maher mocked, pointing out how ridiculous Trump's language often is. It's a small thing, but it speaks volumes. Most people love dogs. Trump, however, seems to view them the same way he views anyone who doesn't blindly support him, with disdain. Trump's alternate universe and the future of his campaign. With multiple legal cases hanging over him, Trump isn't exactly running a traditional campaign. Instead of talking policy or focusing on solutions, he's doubling down on his grievances, running a campaign based on conspiracy theories and personal vendettas. Maher put it bluntly, Trump's ego is more fragile than a snowflake in summer, and that fragility is at the core of everything he does. He can't accept losing, he can't admit when he's wrong, and he certainly can't handle criticism. So where does that leave us? Trump is leading a movement fueled by misinformation, ego, and an unwavering refusal to accept reality. His supporters, meanwhile, are stuck in the same cycle, chasing conspiracies, defending the indefensible, and pretending that the facts don't matter. As Maher summed it up, it's like watching your drunk uncle try to dance at a wedding. You want to look away, but you just can't. And that's the real danger of Trump's alternate universe. It's not just that he lies, it's that millions of people believe him.